Yeah, and if that wasn't bad enough, the plague spread from me parents' corpses before we could dispose of them properly, infecting me entire hamlet with rotting extremities and bleeding out the eyes and ears. They were all dead after a fortnight. I think I was sort of inoculated after taking care of me parents on their deathbed, so I lost one of me arms and eyes, but survived. As I was digging the mass grave for everyone I've ever known and loved, Miro found me, stopped, helped me lay them to rest. I've been following her and Talona ever since.
Niant, a towering orc man with a green eye patch and gold teeth, smiles brightly at you all before taking a big swig from his tin cup. In the middle of the swampy clearing, there sits a small stage and a table topped with bread, cheese, and a cauldron of ruby red punch. People mill around it, drinking, snacking, and chatting in the shade of the towering willows and drooping chupolos. It feels like you're attending a party or a family reunion, not a celebration of the goddess of disease and decay.
What about you folks? What brings you here to Disorder's doorstep? Miro brought a lot of us into the fold by hand, but she likes to say that the entropy in our cores resonates with each other, leads us to where we most belong. Isn't that so beautiful?
Gorgeous.
Beautiful and utterly profound, that must be it. We were called here by entropy, or we were called to Mabrinsk, where we met each other and heard about this meeting. Then we were called here. And you? Who is Miro?
Who is... only a saint, an angel. She...
We've been looking for you! Come out!
Oh, that'll be my party. We like to choose our seats early, near the stage. You should do the same, and then you can find out for yourself. Enjoy. Oh, drink for your punch.
The orc turns with a grin, and you all smile back, until he disappears into the crowd. You and Finide immediately upend your cups and their contents into a nearby shrub, shuddering at the red liquid and the horrors it might hold.
I think it's pomegranate juice.
With a hint of lime. Quite refreshing, actually.
No.
A terrible time, actually, but if there's one small solace, it's that the cultists put together a decent drink.
Deprill, Comet, please tell me you are not stupid enough to step into the proverbial lair of the enemy, zealot followers of a goddess of rot and ruin who have done nothing but cause a strife, just to drink from the communal punch bowl?
It was a really tiring walk here.
And they were kind enough to offer. Very polite zealots.
Oh, come on, Taryn. I already drank some. If it was gonna kill me, it would have done it already.
Yes, I think we should try to avoid that as much as possible. Here, drink the water we brought. You too, Comet.
Yes, stale water. We'll just rinse the magic out of our mouths, shall we? And how does one punch out magic,
All right, none of that. We're in this together, on a mission. Reconnaissance, information gathering, not squabbling. What have we found out? What have we noticed?
Swamps are awful?
All right, let me rephrase. What have we noticed that's relevant?
I'd say there's about 75 people here, give or take. A not insignificant amount, given how far we are from a major city. And it seems like there's more trickling in as the day goes on. Too nice.
Weirdly nice. And welcoming. Very different from Centipede Man. Weirdly normal. The man who told you about this meeting in Mabrinsk. Did he seem normal? Is he here?
I haven't seen him yet, and frankly, I hope I don't. I'm not quite sure whether he was trying to indoctrinate me or ask me out on a date. Maybe both, and I'm not amenable to either. I was wondering that myself. This area isn't far from town per se, but it was quite the trek to get here, and there were other just as secluded areas that could have been used for a secret meeting.
They're either very particular about their privacy and making their business as difficult to discover as possible.
Or they just really wanted to be here. It suits them, all this muck and slime. Feels like the ground is gonna swallow us up at any second, which I think may be the point.
Cover stories? What for?
That's a good point. Everyone we've spoken to seems to have some sort of tragedy that attracts them to Talona and her ilk. Niant and the plague, that man I spoke to before, and typhoid.
The woman who served me punch told me she had worms in her brain and asked if I want to see. No, because I did not, in fact, want to see Taryn. I'm sure we can find her again if you're so curious.
Suddenly, the din of the grove grows louder. The low murmurs and chit-chat rising to a fervor as the people around you move towards the stage and the figure standing on it. A human woman looks down on the crowd with her open palms and a wide smile, sweetly waving at those who are brave enough to meet her eyes. Miro, who you assume this must be, judging by the congregation's reverent gaze, is unremarkable at first glance. She wears a black cloak and a brown tunic underneath, salt and pepper hair tied into a loose braid thrown over her shoulder. She reminds you of a shopkeeper back in Naveen, who would reward all the children with candy if they did an errand for her. You imagine the resemblance is like the swamp, a purposeful choice. Your party takes a few seats in the back of the crowd, an easy task given the mad crush of people towards the front, and watches patiently as Miro slowly paces back and forth atop her stage.
My friends, I hope you're all well, or well as can be.
The gathering whoops in assent, buzzing with energy, stomping on the soft, marshy ground with emphatic zeal. The sick squelching of the mud beneath your feet makes you want to gag.
Good. As ever, I am so happy to see you, to see all your beautiful faces, familiar and new. I do see quite a few strangers have joined us, though I hope they do not remain strangers for long.
Miro's eyes rove over the throng as she speaks, the startling blue of her gaze grazing upon you in the back row, and you fight the urge to duck your head. Her smile widens, and you feel a shiver crawl up your spine like centipede legs on your skin. Beside you, you can feel Finide stiffen. On your other side, Deprill tightens a hand in your cloak.
I suppose I should introduce myself to our newcomers, shouldn't I? For those who have heard my sob story already, please feel free to ignore me and refill your cups. To our new friends, my name is Miro Demillion, and I am a faithful follower of Talona. Like a lot of you, I found her, or rather, she found me, in my darkest of hours. 20 years ago, almost to the day, I lost my daughter to a grave, incurable illness, a slow, creeping thing that drained the life out of my little girl, and in turn me. On the day I put her to rest, I laid upon the dirt above her body, next to her gravestone, and I prayed. I prayed that I might find my purpose, that something or someone would show me the light. and the soil beneath my head answered me. The insects and worms, the minerals and roots, the decay breaking down the plants and my daughter's flesh all spoke to me in Talona's voice. Do you know what they said?
The congregation, which had quieted to an intense stillness as they listened, hums and thrums in response, like a wasp's hive or a lynx's snarl. Their fervor surrounds you so pervasively. It feels like even the trees are alive with it. The leaves of the willows vibrating with the sound. The wind, a current of energy.
I thought you might have heard that familiar tune. I am among the like-minded. Talona's servants, the fungus and beetles, all that decay and rot, sang me a song of new life, of no pain. In death we leave behind all the hardships that this world has to offer. Suffering, poverty, unfairness. And open our hearts and our corpses to a new, beautiful beginning, to the cycle of life. Talona teaches us that death is not the end, but in fact, the next step of lives we are privileged to spend in her service. My daughter is not gone from me forever. She was broken down into her most basic components and soul to live on in the world around me. By Talona's grace, all of our loved ones stay with us. They are never truly gone. They carry on in the mould creeping through the trees and the spores on the wind. And we will one day join them.
I might throw up.
Please don't. I think they would like that too much.
Speaking of trees, I have some news for all of you that I think you'll be happy to hear. I think we can all admit that we're a close-knit, gossipy sort. So I know some of you were talking before the meeting about some rumours from the south. No need to bow your heads or be bashful. You know I love to talk as much as the rest of you. In case you haven't heard, there's been a lot of buzz from farmers of disturbances on their land. Agitated predators, bad soil, tainted water, venomous centipedes biting at their livestock.
Please tell me she didn't just say centipedes.
I'm not a liar, I'm afraid.
Miro's smile, previously soft and welcoming, sharpens into something knowing and devious, a threatening glance of a sword pulled out of its sheath. She stops pacing casually up and down the length of the platform, and her posture stops resembling that of a kind teacher, and more of a stern general, as she holds her arms behind her back to survey the audience. Everyone else seems to sit up straighter under her intense scrutiny, while you fight the urge to slink in your seat and hide.
My friends, I am so pleased to tell you, all of that is a result of your support and dedication. I'm sure some of you noticed beloved Herlin missing from our gathering today, and that is not a coincidence. Yours and my favourite maverick has moved on to the next stage of his life for Talona, for us, for a ritual that will change the world into something decrepit and beautiful. Please, bow your heads a moment in gratitude and in his memory.
The assembly follows orders quickly, and your party does the same, lowering your heads to hide your panicked expressions. You turn towards Deprill, eyes wide, but she keeps her steadfast and petrified gaze zeroed in on the mud beneath her feet. You lay your hand atop hers, and it is shaking.
Passionate, wonderful, special Harlan. What a character and a brave soul. You see, my friends, I have been contemplating midsummer, the festival day of bounty, renewal, and rebirth, and also my daughter's birthday. It has never struck me as right that such an occasion only be associated with the light and order when we in the muck and shadows also wish to participate. I feel like the beauty of regrowth and life have been simplified too much, sanitized and bastardized so much. People have forgotten the soil and humble beginnings from whence we came. So I thought we might set a little reminder. In the south, at the intersections of the ley lines, lies a grand oak tree, centuries upon centuries old. Or lied, shall I say. Our friend Harlan travelled there and performed a ritual upon it at my request, turning it into a honing beacon, attracting creatures of ruin and venom, and eventually adventurers. From his absence and the increased talk of desolation and famine coming from that direction, I can reasonably assume that the ritual was a success. The tree was made a conduit of Talona's magic and then felled, sending her necrotic influence through the earth and foundations of magic at the expense of Harlan's life.
A quiet ripple of gasps travels through the crowd. 4 rows in front of you, someone begins to cry. Next to you, Deprill hunches over, head low and shoulders bent low to her knees, back locked tight like a strung bow.
Please, don't fret too much. Harlan knew what the process might have entailed, relished it even. He had contracted a disease these past few months, one that was slowly robbing him of his memory, and eventually his sense of good humour and easy demeanour. He asked to end this stage of his existence as Talona would have wanted, in service of her, and grinning all the while. Harlan was a dear friend, a close confidant, a cheeky bastard when he wanted to be, and the sacrificial lamb whose blood shall baptize the new world. We shall mourn him, of course, but we should also celebrate what he has done, his legacy. The adventurers who have his blood on their hands also carry Talona's message. Traces of necrosis and rot and illness. And it will follow them until they follow Harlan. Our goddess's magic is no longer confined to spars on the wind or mycelium in the dirt. It will soon be everywhere.
The congregation erupts into an uproar of whoops and cheers, of raised arms and stomping feet and raucous applause. Followers start to rise out of their chairs, rushing forward and into the aisles, into each other. In all the excitement, No one except you notices Deprill rush in the opposite direction, around her chair and towards the tree line, away from you. You grab her wrist, a well-honed instinct after a lifetime of catching and keeping up with your friend. And she fights you as well as she can, while obstinately holding her right hand to her chest.
Deprill, what are you two doing? You'll draw attention.
Deprill, love, don't worry. We can figure this out. Let's just... Well, I don't want to say calm down, but...
I'd say calm down. Let's absolutely do that. Sit down before anyone asks what's wrong.
Deprill, shuddering with halted half-breaths, and with nowhere to go, falls to the ground. Her eyes are wide and crazed, the look of a captive and cornered animal. And you let go of her wrist, raising your hands high and flat, placating and unthreatening.
Did I do this, Taryn? Is this all my fault? But I'm the one who killed that man. I'm the one who put a knife in his skull and got his blood on my hands. I started this, and now she said I'll spread rot and illness wherever I go, to the farm town, to Nick Liant, to Letry.
Absolutely none of it. You heard her. If it wasn't us, it would have just been someone else.
And if you hadn't killed him, he would have killed Resterin. That was the plan, to goad you and get you to react.
And I fell for it. I thought we could go out into the world and have adventures and be heroes. And I immediately... This is so messed up. I want to go home. I want to go home.
As Deprill's voice rises and peaks, something shifts. A current of magic rings out with Deprill at its epicenter, traveling through the dirt beneath your feet like a tremor, like the worms and crickets and slugs have risen when called to attention. It's unsettling, foreboding, and worst of all, incredibly noticeable. The din of the crowd lowers to a hush, and you all turn, slowly, ruefully, towards the stage, to see Miro pointing at you with a beatific, beaming smile.
And it is here! Behold, Talona's conduit, who will bring about her will and beautiful necrotic order!
Deprill makes to scrabble back from the attention, eyes shifting between the crowd and the safety of the tree line. Comet rises to his full height, mouth flattened to a grim line, staff in his grasp. Finide stays seated and smiles back, hands raised with open, upward palms. But Resterin, what do you do? You've just listened to Episode 6 of Chaos and Consequences. After its live recording, our Twitch audience faced a choice between running, attempting to negotiate, or fighting Miro and her followers. They chose to run. Well, let's see what the dice had to say about that. The cast's D20 roll resulted in a 15. But 2 members of our audience contributed Chaos D4s. After one roll was subtracted from our total and one was added, we were left with a 16. And so our party's escape begins. Next time on Chaos and Consequences.